Well, hi. So let's talk about soya. Now, I'm making a couple of videos on commodities, which I quite often trade, and it seems like there are a lot of people interested in commodities. So let's talk about this one of my favorites. We sold this during the last period of its rally during late 2022, up in these levels here, where I've got the head drawn on this weekly chart. And since then, we moved down. We made a good profit on that. We're starting to move higher again. Now, if you look at this in historical terms, it's pretty high. And we need to know whether soya is too expensive and the price is going to come down, or if it's going to hang around these levels for a wee bit longer. I think we're going to see the price move up a little bit. I've just drawn my favorite pattern, the head and shoulders in, yet again. We've seen this on a number of charts recently. This is the weekly chart. Let's have a look at daily chart on soya beans. And if we can just get this on the daily, you'll see this in a little bit more detail. So there's the left-hand shoulder, there's the head, and there's the projected and possible right-hand shoulder, or right side shoulder. Now, I've drawn a parallel yellow, orangish, salmon-colored line in here where I think we could get up to. The reason is because that'll form a nice right-hand shoulder, roughly the same size as the left-hand shoulder, but also you can see all of this area along here is definitely an area of interest. We've got resistance and support at this lower part, and that's at around 1,560. And we've got an upper area where we could get up to 1,623. But this 1,560 is the area where we need to start looking. And you can see why, because it's formed lows in this area. It's formed highs in this area. It's formed a previous head and shoulder, mini head and shoulders on the left-hand side at the same price range. We need to know if we'll get up there. I think we could. I don't think it's time to be selling right now, even though historically we're still at pretty high prices on soya. So let's have a look at what the faithful information we get from the CFTC on commitment of traders. And there's a couple of interesting things here. So we got commercials, producers, managed money, and those are the main ones we'll look at for now. Commercials are net short, but not by much, so pretty evenly balanced. And you can see some extra long positions, some extra short positions were added on quite recently. A few more longs than shorts, so slightly long bias. And so I'm not surprised looking at the chart. I think there's room for this to move up, as you can see from this technical pattern. We need to probably test resistance and support in this zone that I pointed out with the parallel salmon lines. So I'm not surprised that there are still people with short and long interest, both looking to capitalize on potential moves either way. We have a look at producers. We've got 191,000 long, a lot more short. But we've seen some more long positions added on more than we've seen short positions. But the most interesting all of this is the managed money. And we've got 155 long and only 22 short. But what's interesting, apart from the fact that the managed money is mainly long, remember managed money are often momentum players. So not surprising that the momentum at the moment's upwards, so you'd expect managed money to be bullish. And also they're probably seeing the same technical pattern. Problem with technical patterns is everyone sees the same thing, and that's why they often fail. But they're probably seeing this right-hand shoulder, think, yeah, we could go up a little bit, so pretty bullish from the managed money side. But what's interesting is if you have a look at the numbers in brackets, some of the long positions have been taken off, and some short positions have been added on. So there's a swing from the long side, not very much, a little bit, but from the long side to the short side. So it looks to be like managed money is beginning to take some of the profit off the table if they've been long, and perhaps even some of them starting to look short, or at least getting square on soya. So going back to the chart, this is the area that I think we should be looking at to sell. I'm going to be certainly looking at that. We're now short sugar already. The next one will be soya beans, and we're already long natural gas, as we pointed out in the previous video, which I'll link to this video at the end of the video. So soya beans from anywhere from 1560 up to 1620 or so, be a good place to look. And if you're not sure about it, wait for reversal patterns on the daily chart, even on the weekly chart. We'd be looking for things like engulfing patterns, dark cloud covers, spike highs, star dojis, all those sorts of beautiful patterns that we see in candles. Look for those on the daily or the weekly chart. This is the daily chart. But you can have a look at the weekly chart as well, which we had a look at a little bit earlier. See the same pattern there, just a little bit more compressed. And overall, what's most interesting is when it comes to trading commodities, try and sell extreme highs and buy extreme lows. Prices don't stay way high for too long, and prices, when it gets too cheap, they don't stay at the bottom for too long unless there's some sort of catastrophic event. Good luck with Soya.